powerful. There was some pretty intense cells there, but they weren't nearly as strong as what we're seeing now as this front approaches out of Oklahoma and Texas along the dry line. Over in Mountainburg in Crawford County, we do know from what the sheriff in their briefing had been said, there were a couple of injuries, one potentially severe, but they said they were thankful that there were no fatalities. It looked like maybe an F1 or an F2 from some of the damage footage that was coming in from there. There was also a report of a woman who went to the evacuation shelter at the elementary school who went into labor, and she was transported from the scene. Power outages there in the thousands, 4,000 or 5,000. It's a very remote, mountainous area of the state, but a lot of people were concentrated along the roads in the valleys there, and that's where we were seeing some of those damage reports. In the meantime, we've been watching this line of very powerful storms firing off from the southwest to the northeast. It's the typical Arkansas springtime tornado alley picture. We've had some tornado warnings in other parts of the state, but so far our damage has just been limited to the Mountainburg area. I was talking to folks with the Arkansas Department of Emergency Management. They said they're in it for the long haul, a long night, as we watch these storms continue to pop up. And here's what's ironic is by the time we get to Sunday night, we're talking about a hard freeze in the state. Low temperatures, maybe 25. And some of the farmers who have citrus crops in the northern part of the state are very worried that they could lose the crop this year. They had a hard freeze again last week, and yet it was 85 degrees yesterday. So, you know, what kind of weather do you have in spring in the Mid-South? Well, it just is all over the place. We've been back and forth. It's been a cooler month, actually, and we haven't had much severe weather since severe weather season kicked off. 5 tornadoes in the last since March, and I think, well, actually since February. And we had 1 tornado fatality earlier in the year. And as we said, we had a few injuries tonight. But right now, we're watching that line of storm, and we think, Liana, that it is going to be coming into Little Rock within a couple of hours. Back to you.
Thank you so much, Ron. And yes, you can expect those storms to be dangerously getting close to Little Rock. Let's go ahead and show you what the conditions are like right now. Right now, cloudy, 71 degrees. You can see the winds are only gusting at 23 miles per hour, but just up towards the northwest. You can start seeing the first signs of those storms headed your way. And so let's go ahead and show you. We're going to show you all that lightning that's associated with those storms getting ready to impact Russellville and Marshall. And lots of lightning. And again, just like Dr. Forbes was showing us, we have severe thunderstorm warnings currently in place in those yellow outlined areas. Let's continue to time it out. 9 p.m. Central Time, those storms will be rolling through. The main wave will be pushing through the late hours between midnight and about 3 a.m. And they will continue to sporadically impact the area through 9 a.m. tomorrow.
Okay, guys, every commercial I will try and keep y'all updated. That is live TV, the Weather Channel. This is extended live coverage of the tornado threat today. It's really ramped up. We have PDS tornado watches. So I don't know if there's the chat or anything. Probably not. It's not even. My internet is just misbehaving. And I have to mute the TV during commercials.
We can recharge, great place to learn something about the weather, and have a couple of laughs.
We have a charge, we have a responsibility to provide information to people to help them, help their communities, help their families stay safe, and it matters so much.
And we got a new video just in of some of the damage in Mountainburg in Arkansas. A tornado caused what officials are calling significant damage to parts of the town. Several homes collapsed, trapping several people. All were taken to the hospital. Shelter is open for people in the town. We have new tornado warnings across 3 states right now. Let's go over to Liana now for the latest on the active severe weather.
And here's a look at the watches right now that are currently in effect. Tornado watches, a particularly dangerous situation but that tornado watch until 10 p.m. Central Time. And yes, we do have several tornado warnings that are popping up in these red areas as well. We also have up in northern Iowa a thunderstorm watch as well. And here's a look. You can see them all lining up and popping up in red. We're going to kind of take a tour, starting off with the northernmost storms. And we're looking at the tornado warning in Missouri right now. That one is heading north-northeast, and that's for parts of Texas County, including the cities of Boone, Lynch, and Sherrill. It's in effect until 8:30 p.m. It's a radar-indicated rotation with a tornado and quarter-size hail possible. So let's go ahead and head on south. We're timing it out right now. Sherrill, expect that storm to reach you by 8:21 p.m. Central Time. Darien at 8:37 and 8:43 at Salem. And you can see all that rain as we continue to watch these storms. A little bit farther south, this is for parts of Montgomery, Scott, and Yell counties, including the cities of Odin. And this is in Arkansas. This is in effect until 8:30 p.m. Central Time. We can see that a tornado law enforcement reported this tornado. You can expect this to impact the cities of Pencil Bluff, Chula at 8:11 p.m. Central Time, 8:28 Central Time, and 8:40 p.m. Central Time, Briggsville and Rover at 8:45 p.m. Central Time. Again, if you're anywhere in these storms, you need to seek shelter now. As we head a little bit farther south-southwest, we're still in Arkansas. This is for parts of Howard and Little River, Seminole counties, and this one is in effect until 8:30 p.m. Central Time, right?
All right, we still do have some pretty major metropolitan areas that still need to feel the impacts of some of this severe weather. So we're getting into now a little bit of the timing of these severe storms. One of our stops here is going to be Shreveport. You can see it sitting down here. Right now, cloudy at 74 degrees. The dew point, though, look at that. Rich tropical moisture in place. 70-degree dew point right now. And the gusty winds, even outside of the thunderstorms, are gusting out of the south at 26 miles per hour. So that's transporting up the warm and unstable air, and the storm's still coming in toward the west. So you still got some time to go here to make your preparations, and if you are going to be dealing with severe weather, it'll be over the next few hours. As you can see radar, we've still got a little bit to go before we start seeing the main line of storms come in, but you've seen some of these storms trying to break out ahead of the main line, and you may get an isolated thunderstorm as we head through the next couple of hours, but as we head through about 8 o'clock tonight, that's when these storms are projected to move off further toward the east, so maybe a little bit delayed on this, so we may be looking at a little bit later than this as the storms continue to go through. But notice not only how strong the storms get, but how heavy the rain gets too. There's going to be heavy rainfall, strong winds, and certainly there's going to be a risk of tornadoes with these storms as they come on through. Starting to taper off then from west to east as we go through early tomorrow morning as these thunderstorms push through, as we said. Maybe 2 to 4 inches of rain on the north side of town, around an inch in and around Shreveport. So heads up and be ready as we go through the next few hours for storms to fire through. Little Rock right now, cloudy, 71 degrees, dew point at 67. So plenty of moisture around on that gusty south wind. We've got a severe thunderstorm weather out across 20.
superhero movie. Except for the extra hour to drive there. Yeah, seems like you need local now. It's like your local news, but streaming when and where you want it. Now, the next time disaster strikes, you'll be ready to swoop in and save the day. Local Now. Stream on.
This
We have a responsibility to provide information to people to help them, help their communities, help their families stay safe, and it matters so much.
Currently in our area, 71 degrees under fair skies. Tonight, partly cloudy skies early will give way to cloudy skies later at night. Low 59, winds south at 5 to 10 miles per hour. Saturday, mostly cloudy, high 82, winds south-southwest at 10 to 15 miles per hour. Saturday night, mostly cloudy, low 65, winds south-southeast at 10 to 15 miles per hour. Here's our 7-day outlook.
This is new video from Mountainburg, Arkansas. Check out the damage. This was a tornado that officials are calling it. Significant damage in parts of the town. Several homes collapsed, trapping several people. All were taken to the hospital. Here's what officials said a short time ago.
More severe damage south and north of Mountainburg. Looks like we have moderate damage actually in Mountainburg at this time.
Most of what I can see that's going to be happening the next few days, there is some major damage to a few houses, but the main thing is going to be getting the electrical power restored to the area. That's going to be the main thing with the cleanup.
3 emergency calls that involve people trapped in their homes that had to be extricated by the fire department and or law enforcement. 4 of those were transferred. 3 of those were transported to an area hospital.
We're just thankful that no fatalities that we have been reported at this time. The injuries, like the sheriff said, we don't have any updates on that. Could have been a lot worse. We have a lot of people here helping us today, and a lot of power lines down, a lot of trees down, blocking roads, but we're getting that cleaned up.
And we still have 3 tornado warnings in effect, and there could be a lot more before the night is over. They're showing up in red here, 1 in southern Missouri, 1 in western Arkansas, as part of this big line of storms that's marching slowly eastward across these areas. We lost 1 in southwest Arkansas, we lost 1 in southeast, still 1 in northeast parts of Louisiana. So let's take a look at the details of who's in the path of these tornado warnings. This one is in southern Missouri, Texas County. I think you can see the big swirling mass of rain showing up here on the radar. It's a bit of a comma-shaped configuration. Tornado circulation, or a circulation that could produce a tornado, is in places like the Kinder Post, the Walnut Ridge School area, Sherrill, Craddock's, and the Lenox area as it goes off toward the north and east. Here's the circulation, pretty well defined, coming toward areas maybe near and just to the south of Sherrill, about ready to cross Highway 63. If you don't get a tornado, you're definitely going to get a swirling mass of very strong blowing rain. Then down into western Arkansas, Yell County still with a tornado warning. Another one of these embedded circulations in the line. This one a little more of a circulation like that. So places like Chula up toward Briggsville, Rover, Plainview, and Olla, Arkansas, with the possibility of a tornado. This one beginning to look a little bit more like just a straight gust front, but there are some places there where these west winds from the rain-cooled outflow are getting pretty close to the inflow, and so places like that are where you might get a quick spin up of a tornado up toward the Rover area. Then we've lost the tornado warning that we had here down in Hempstead, Howard, Sevier counties. Hail, though, and still a severe thunderstorm warning coming through the area. Should it recirculate, it would be coming toward Nashville, Arkansas, say at around 8:41 or so. But the circulation is weakened, as it has done down in northern Louisiana, Caldwell and Ouachita parishes with a tornado warning. This one, well, and still some very strong storms rolling across now north and east of Waco, Texas. Ray, Leon?
All right, thank you so much, Dr. Forbes. And from severe storms to winter strong grip on the north. Summit County, Colorado, getting blasted with snow from Winter Storm Xanto.
And this winter storm is now moving toward the upper Midwest. It'll bring with it high winds and near blizzard conditions.
And one place that will feel the brunt of Winter Storm Xanto is Eden Prairie, Minnesota.
Yeah, that's where our own Justin Michaels is tonight. And looks like just a few hours ago, Justin, you started seeing precip. What's going on now?
Well, Ray, Liana, it's actually flipping over from mostly sleet to, I think, more snow and a little bit of sleet now. We are seeing highway crews out here on highways 212 and also 494 salting at this point. Obviously, there's nothing to plow on the highways, but still not an easy travel night. And in fact, take a look what's been collecting on the grass here right now. Most of what you're seeing here is actually sleet, folks. That's not snow. It has been sleeting for several hours, and it's just laying there. But now we do have snow mixing in, and the expectation is that's going to continue all night tonight, all day tomorrow, and then into Sunday. When it's all said and done, we can see about a foot of snow. We're about 15 miles southwest of Minneapolis, so we're going to get a lot of snow here, especially for this time of the year, and just not a good go. So if you don't have to go out, certainly stay in. And of course, the good thing is nobody has to work tomorrow. You don't have to go to school tomorrow. So have a snow day. Enjoy it if you have to go outside, but make sure you're staying close to home for safety reasons. Weather Channel comes back.
It's the biggest news ever at Olive Garden. All new big Italian Club Garden. Olive Garden catering is now easier than ever. Order online.
I've got a big dinner party tonight.
And I got a giant corporate event.
What else? Enormous presentation.
Easy. Gigantic interview. Done.
Now at Men's Warehouse, take 60% off select suits, plus buy one, get one free on select items.
No matter what size your label says, you're gonna like the way you look.
Please keep your shoes on. Stop messing with your sister. Hey, don't make me come back there.
So?
Feels really good. Yeah, I'm gonna buy it. Customer service that goes the extra mile. Enterprise makes it easy.
Cody, I want to know if you...
Feel the clarity of non-drowsy Claritin 24-hour relief.
Let me be able to unmute this. I don't think I'm gonna get copyrighted for showing the Weather Channel, because it's. It's extended coverage. It's basically informational. They take it down when I only get one strike. No.
They won't give you a strike unless you keep doing it over and over again. And they'll take it down.
They'll take the string down. And if they do that, it gives me a copyright strike. That's the only way that they would make that being copyrighted. Yeah, other people have done it and they didn't get it, so.
Cody, that's more like channels that have more people that get copyright strikes.
Yeah, I don't have enough to get money right now. Where are y'all going? Okay, I'm trying to wait for it to get off of commercials where I can unmute it, because I can't. What mainly gets the strikes is the commercials. I can show stuff at the Weather Channel commercials, or if it's something sponsoring something at the Weather Channel, I can. That should be it. Dang it. That dang Allstate commercial.
Weekend is a blast. I mean, we had so much fun.
Hi, store number one. How you doing? See you later, because you're going to go out into the Atlantic and we're never going to see you again.
AMHQ weekend is so much fun.
She's right. Sweet Pepto-Bismol. Look at this.
We're a little bit more laid back because it's the weekend.
It's not that complex. It's all about getting you ready for your weekend. Although I do advise wearing a crash helmet.
Incredible video after drivers get caught in a possible tornado. This is Mountainburg, Arkansas. It's a dangerous night developing. We've already seen several tornadoes hit in several states tonight, and the threat is far from over. There were reports of people trapped in their homes earlier in Crawford County after a possible tornado. You're watching special live coverage tonight. I'm meteorologist Leona Brackett.
And I'm meteorologist Ray Stage. Again, there's multiple tornado warnings we've had so far. Dangerous storms continuing to roll on off toward the east right now. So let's bring in severe weather expert Dr. Greg Forbes for the latest. Greg.
Thanks, Ray. And yeah, we still do have 2 active tornado warnings, tornado watches all across the central part of the U.S. The warnings are in southern Missouri here in red and northeast parts of Louisiana. There's still 1 red spot here. There had been a tornado recently just west of Pencil Bluff in Montgomery County, Arkansas, but that is now, that warning is expired and severe thunderstorm warning in effect for the area. So let's start with the tornado warned storms. We have one here in southern Missouri, Texas County. Big swirling mass of rain bands that come in, swirling, additionally, it could be Salem and Short Bend that could get a tornado developing there. Now, farther down to the southwest, the tornado warning that I mentioned that had expired. It had been in this little kink here north of Mount Ida in Arkansas. It's now a severe warning for damaging wind and small hail all across Garland, Perry, and Yell counties in Arkansas. And down to the south of that, there had been a tornado warning also for this area north of Texarkana, Hempstead, and Howard and Sevier counties now with severe warning. Golf ball hail and 60-mile-per-hour plus winds are a likelihood there. Then, oops, I need to get rid of this track on here so we can see the county locations. Down in Louisiana, we do continue to have a tornado warning that is now moving up into Richland Parish in Louisiana. The little circulation right about there would be where the tornado is coming from up toward areas near Buckner and then the Gilleyville area as that storm goes north and east. Then we get into the line of storms farther west where we're getting different characters. Instead of these little swirling masses, we're getting these big backward seas, bow echoes, but lots of lavender in there still. So golf ball size hail and 60, 70 mile per hour winds east of Waco and up toward the Corsicana, Texas area, heading over toward Groesbeck with a number of counties under severe warning. Then over into northern parts of Arkansas, Marshall County with a severe thunderstorm warning, and a brand new tornado warning has just come out. One of these new little circulations in the line has just developed. So we're talking about parts of Baxter and Fulton counties up near the Mountain Home area. Let's take a quick look if we can and see what the kind of velocity circulation showing up here, if there is one. Oh, a pretty well-defined circulation showing up there in that red and green around the area near Buford, heading up toward Mountain Home. And a brand new scan just came in, so possible tornado coming right into Mountain Home, Arkansas. Then it will head up toward the Bakersfield area and west of Viola. Be on the lookout for that. Then storms that were north of Kansas City have weakened a little bit. They've come in north and east of Leavenworth now, heading toward the Plattsburgh, Missouri area. Still some strong storms, occasionally severe west of Des Moines area. Near Creston, it's still severe warning storms around the Earlham area, heading into the Des Moines area. So A lot of storms here tonight, fed by a big upper low that's also fueling a winter storm. And the cold air axis comes south of that, charging east of that. You can see where the thunderstorms are, the high-top thunderstorms from south of Dallas all the way up to southern Missouri, showing up in this water vapor imagery is in blue. Our future radar shows that these storms will get progressively more in a line, coming toward 11 o'clock into the St. Louis area, across toward Little Rock, down into Texarkana, down in toward areas near the Austin area, charging across Texas, past Shreveport by the time we get to 2 in the morning, heading toward Memphis 2 or 3 in the morning, then continuing into probably a sunrise time frame around Jackson and maybe hovering around the Memphis area. Some places could get some of this might stall out overnight, some locally heavy rain as well. And it picks up from there across some of the Gulf Coast states tomorrow. You'll hear more about that coming up. Right, Liana?
All right, thank you so much, Dr. Forbes. And like you heard, the tornado threat is high tonight, with Arkansas having a Torcon value of 7 tonight. It is a particularly dangerous situation.
Yeah, one of the places in this zone is Little Rock, Arkansas. That's where we find Ron Blum. Ron, what's the latest?
Well, here it's still pretty good news. We've been out of the mix most of the day. We had some pretty strong storms popping out about 4 hours ago east and west of Little Rock. But the big drive time threat here just didn't materialize. What we've been seeing, though, is what Dr. Forbes has been pointing out, that very strong line that's moving ahead of the dry line out of Oklahoma and Texas and sweeping across the state. A couple of things that I've noticed on that, looking at the radars, it's beginning to form up as a major line before it was all broken, and it was a little more full of pockets of power. And as it gets more of a line, I think we'll see it perhaps feeding on itself and maybe fewer tornadoes. But that one that just popped up, the warning up towards Mountain Home, certainly is a threat to that area. A big population center up there, a retirement community around Mountain Home. That's up for another 30 minutes, so we need to watch that. There's been a lot of rain up in the northeast part of the state as well, going up into Missouri, Poplar Bluff. Flood threat could be up there as well as the potential. Now for central Arkansas, it's looking like this is going to be a couple of more hours. Rather than sweeping west to east across the state, it's been really trending towards the northeast. We've been seeing the winds pick up, but the temperatures are also dropping here. So down in the mid-60s, that too is going to rob a little bit of the power of the storms. But as Dr. Forbes has been telling us, this is going to go on all night. So we can expect that here. Back to the Mountain Home thing, just to update there were 3 people trapped and had to be extricated from homes over there. 4 people went off to the hospital, and the power is out to about 4,000. Officials there said they were lucky that they had no fatalities, but getting the power back on, all of the trees cleared up, is going to be the big story there, as well as for the people in the dozens of buildings that were damaged having to face their cleanup. Again, this threat is not over for Arkansas. The Torcon value fairly high, with the temperatures dropping and that line forming up a little more evenly. Perhaps the threat just a little bit less than it was, but we're going to have to stay on our toes throughout the evening. This is going to take all night long to pass through the state before it moves into a threat more towards the Memphis area. Liana, Ray, I'm going to toss it back to you now.
All right, thank you so much, Ron, for that report.
Yeah, we're going to go back now to Dr. Greg Forbes to give us an update on the latest with the severe weather. Greg.
Yeah, and Ron was mentioning that storm around the Mountain Home area, so I thought I would give you an update on that. We're talking the extreme northern Arkansas, just before you get to the Missouri border. Baxter and Fulton counties are where there has been another one of these swirls within the line that has developed, and it's a pretty strong one. Pretty close to the Mountain Home area right now. So that would take it then beyond that up to Henderson, and then over into, say, Leota area of Missouri at some of the approximate times. It's going more than 50 miles per hour off toward the northeast and surging its way northeast. Here in the velocities, very well-defined red and green couplet with this swirling area here. Right in the Mountain Home area right now, has passed the Beaufort area and will be heading up toward Bakersfield, Missouri, as it surges its way off toward the north and east. So, Ray and Leona, a dangerous storm there. That one is probably the strongest circulation that we have at the moment. Can't confirm of any tornadoes with that, and it probably is going to be embedded in rain. You won't see it coming. So if you're in the path that I've mentioned, you should be seeking shelter, lowest innermost portion of a sturdy building, and if you have a helmet, put that on to protect your head. Ray, Leona?
Good advice. Thank you so much, Dr. Forbes. Yes, let's continue tracking these dangerous storms that are coming across the plains as we speak.
Yeah, these are the watches that are in effect. Remember, the watch would mean severe weather and tornadoes in and around the watch area. So just think just because you're not in the watch doesn't mean you may not get severe weather. So it does include areas just south of St. Louis and Little Rock. These are all areas that could be impacted by strong storms.
We're going to start our tour of all these tornado warnings in Arkansas right now. This is for parts of Baxter and Fulton counties. This is in effect until 9 p.m. Central Time. If you're anywhere near Mountain Home, Gassville, or Whiteville, definitely seek shelter now. Mountain Home, you can expect that tornado to reach you by 8:36, 8:50 at Vedette at 8:55, Leota at 9:04, and Levo at 9:11 p.m. Central Time.
And some of these stronger storms continue to roll on off toward the east and northeast. And as you go a little further south, now this is a tornado warning us for Conway, Pope, and Yell counties in Arkansas, Atkins, Danville, and Pottsville until 9:15. So if you are in these areas, take cover now, get into an interior room if you have a basement. Now is the time to get into the basement. Get to your safe place. That's the bottom line. So if you're at Ola at 8:40, at 9:13 at the Old Hickory, and 9:17 at the St. Vincent, this storm's expected to be with you. Nothing confirmed in this storm, but Doppler radar indicating rotation within this thunderstorm. Take cover now in this area.
You take care of business. Let Office Depot Office Max take care of you. And this week only at Office Depot Office Max, HP ink is buy one, get one for 30% off. Plus, never run out of ink with an Office Depot ink and toner subscription at officedepot.com/ink.
Mother Nature. Nothing smells greater than the great outdoors. Especially when you're in accounts receivable. Only one detergent can give you a sniff like this. Try Gain Botanicals Laundry Detergent. One of the many irresistible scents from Gain.
A high-performance car like this, when pushed to the limit, won't settle for anything less than Pennzoil Synthetics. Designed to give you complete protection for top engine performance. Pennzoil Synthetics. Make the switch.
Bear presents Ordinary versus Overachiever. A lot of paints say they can do the job, but just one can fare through it all. Bear Premium Plus, a top-rated interior paint at a great price. Family-friendly, disaster-proof. Find it exclusively at the Home Depot.
Say we inherit the sins of our fathers. We wouldn't have it any other way. We're the Brotherhood of Muscle.
Bringing my Giovanni Rana pasta to everyone in America wasn't so easy. So I made it easy for America to find me. In the refrigerated section, Giovanni Rana pasta. Share what's inside.
As people who love the outdoors, we know what we stand for. At Bass Pro Shops and Cabela's, we stand together for you. Come in today for great deals during the Outdoor Escape Sale.
All right, I brought in high protein to help get us moving and help you feel more strength and energy in just 2 weeks. I'll take that.
Ensure high protein with 16 grams of protein and 4 grams of sugar. Ensure always be you.
So you'll be here to help protect my car?
State Farm will be here.
What about here?
Yep. What about here? Here too.
Here?
I don't think so.
That makes sense.
Go with the one that's here to help life go right. State Farm.
Long John Silver's is putting burgers on notes with our hand-battered and fried to perfection Alaskan whitefish sandwich, fries, sit-ups, and a drink for just $5. And there's nothing little burgers can do about it. Is there, burgers?
I knew this day would come. I'm so happy.
Great.
The moment you realize you have to get a new fridge. But yay, you get a new fridge. At Lowe's, we have the most family-friendly Whirlpool appliances in stock, including fingerprint-resistant stainless steel refrigerators, so you can find the one that's right for you. Even when you have to decide right now. All projects have a starting point. Start with Lowe's.
Shop Lowe's and save $900 on a Whirlpool Black Stainless Kitchen Suite.
still a very stormy night. We have 5 tornado warnings right now. Some of them are little circulations embedded in a line. They're very transient. They come and go. And that includes from southern Missouri, northern Arkansas, western Arkansas, and then there's one that's in one of these supercell thunderstorms out ahead of the line, and still some other severe storms in Iowa and Texas as well. We'll focus here on the tornado warning storms. I'll start north and go south. This is in Missouri. It had been previously warned, it weakened, and now the circulation is re-strengthened. You can almost see a little bit of a spiraling, a mass of bands here coming up to the area just south of Rolla, Missouri. Phelps County in Missouri, you have a tornado warning with a possibility of a tornado. Let me do a little bit of an adjustment of that. I believe the tornado threat would be right about like that. Places like the Lacoma, Hobson, Seaton, the Winkler areas of Missouri with that particular circulation. Then down into extreme northern Arkansas, just south of the Missouri border, around the Mountain Home area. Baxter and Fulton counties, we have a tornado warning. This is a storm that is mostly surging northward with northeastward with damaging wind gusts, but there can be a possible tornado circulation, especially on the leading edge of that now. That would be places like, updating it for the newest location, the Coomahey, the Bakersfield, Leota, and the Amy areas coming out of Arkansas. Once you get to Bakersfield and beyond there time-wise, that's up into southern parts of Missouri. Pretty well-defined circulation on this one, northeastbound, and then the southwest to northeast. So off to the northeast side of Mountain Home, heading up toward Bakersfield, Missouri, would be where that circulation is. Then in western Arkansas, new circulation is shown up here, Conway, Pope, and Yell counties. A little bit of gap in the line. Sometimes there's a low pressure on that east of Danville. So places like Ola, the Pontoon, the Atkins area, over toward Blackwell, with that possibility of a tornado. Not an extremely tight circulation, but there is a little bit of a circulation right there. I think that's what we're concerned about with a possible tornado developing. And that, again, could be rain-wrapped, hidden in rain. Down into Louisiana, Richland Parish, this storm has been moving along for quite some time. Organized circulation there coming up near the Mangum and the Rayville area, possibly around the Rhyme School area, and then coming up into the Rayville area as a possible tornado. So Ray and Liana, dangerous night, and it's going to continue, unfortunately, maybe even into Mississippi and Louisiana, farther into Louisiana, even towards sunrise.
And thanks, Forbes. And we're going to see some storms, too, roll into some major metropolitan areas still. So there's still high population centers that need to be impacted or will be impacted. In St. Louis, the storms are still to your west. This is one area we're watching right now, 2.62 degrees. So plenty of moisture. The winds are gusting 23 miles per hour. That's even outside of thunderstorms. But you can see, still off to the west now of St. Louis, thunderstorms are trying to come on in. But they will. Just give it a little bit of time as we look through over the next hour or so. Storms encroaching from the west and southwest. And then by 11, 12 o'clock tonight, they roll through, and then maybe a second round coming in as we go through the early morning hours between 3 and about 6. So we will continue to see active weather in and around St. Louis. Have a way to get alerted while you are sleeping to get your warnings. There'll be heavy rain, too. Most areas seeing about an inch or two of rain as these storms roll through. Memphis probably going to be a little bit later tonight. Your dew point currently 59 degrees. Right now, the winds are calm, but as we go through the evening, you can see now on radar storms well to the north and northwest. But as we take a look at our future radar, you can see by about 10 o'clock tonight, 9, 10 o'clock tonight, some of these storms will start coming through. The main show coming in just after 2 a.m., 3 o'clock in the morning until about 6 a.m. This is when we could see the strongest storms with gusty winds, heavy rain, and Leona may even have that threat of seeing some ice and tornadoes even overnight. So certainly want people to be prepared for that.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks so much, Ray. And yes, this is the time to definitely heed those warnings as we continue to track these tornadoes all through tonight, at least through midnight right now. Let's go ahead and show you where some of them are. We do have tornado watches currently in effect until 10 p.m. Central Time, 1 p.m. Central Time. We also have a particularly dangerous situation worded by the SPC, the Storm Prediction Center. That does mean that's very strong wording for the Storm Prediction Center. We're going to go ahead and take a tour right now and take a look at all the tornado warnings that are popping up, starting with this one in Missouri. We're looking at this one. It's in effect until 9:15 p.m. Central Time. We have several spots where that could be impacted by this storm. You can see them right there as far as the timing goes. Definitely, if you're anywhere in this red area, move indoors. Definitely heed the warnings and make sure you at least have a helmet on at times.
Why do Subaru Forester owners always seem so happy? Because they've chosen the industry leader. Subaru Forester holds its value better than any other vehicle in its class, according to ALG. Better than CR-V, better than RAV4, better than Rogue. An adventure that starts with a Subaru Forester will always leave you smiling. Get 0% APR financing on the 2018 Subaru Forester.
I want the most out of my health and life, so I trust nature.
Currently in our area, 70 degrees under partly cloudy skies. Tonight, partly cloudy skies early will give way to cloudy skies later at night. Low 59, winds south at 5 to 10 miles per hour. Saturday, mostly cloudy, high 82, winds south-southwest at 10 to 15 miles per hour. Saturday night, mostly cloudy, low 65, winds south-southeast at 10 to 15 miles per hour. Here's our 7-day outlook.
Can I get a snack for after Taekwondo? Debate club?
You're in debate club?
Yes. Thanks. Pizza club? That's not a thing.
Gymnastics championship.
Frito-Lay multi-packs. Actual smiles.
Channel's coverage unique is that we are meteorologists. We know the weather, and that makes a tremendous difference.
Multiple rounds
racking the central part of the U.S. tonight with tornadoes. We have 4 tornado warnings at the moment. 3 of them are in a line. They're embedded supercell embedded storms in a line that are probably not supercells. At least they're not these individual type storms that we typically think of as supercells. We have one of those in Louisiana, and a few rounds of storms along a warm front up in Iowa, and along the dry line becoming the cold front in Texas. We'll focus here on the tornado warning storms. We'll start with Missouri and work our way south. Now up into Crawford County. And here's what I mean. It's not one of these isolated storms. It's a little circulation embedded in the line, almost like a comma head that has a rotating comma head with that, coming up now into toward Crawford County. There's where it is right now, around the Spring Hill School area, coming up then toward the Houston School area. Let me jiggle this a little bit and see if I can find my mouse and see if I can get any additional communities to show up. There we go. So we get a few other locations, the Spring Hill, Houston School, Friendship School, and the Fox Springs area of Missouri. Pretty well-defined circulation, reds eastbound, greens westbound. So we're talking areas that are south and east of Rolla, and they're going to be angling its way up toward the I-44 area, and that would be in places that would be up near Cuba in Missouri by all indication. Then going down across Arkansas, coming up now into southern Missouri, out of the Mountain Home area up into the West Plains area, Howell and Ozark counties in Missouri under that tornado warning. This is a bow echo with wind shifts across the leading edge of that could give a possibility of a tornado. I'll do a little bit of update for the new locations that have come in here. Going northeast at about 50 to 55 miles per hour, places like Bakersfield, Leota, Amy, South Fork, and the Glenwood School area. Strong winds and maybe a tornado. There is some broad circulation showing up here, coming out of the area north and east of Mountain Home up toward the Bakersfield area. Have not had any reports of tornadoes with this, but tornadoes, at least brief ones, can fire up quickly on this kind of a storm. The line of thunderstorms here that had a tornado warning, it has expired around the Russellville area, heading over toward the Adona area. Now severe warning for Garland, Montgomery, and Perry counties. There had been a circulation around this Cottontown area. If it re-intensifies, Wilson and the St. Vincent areas of Arkansas could be under threat, but the circulation relatively weak showing up with this one now. That's why the Weather Service has canceled the warning. Down in northern Louisiana, Richland Parish still has a tornado warning as this storm heads up toward the Rayville area. Girard and the Rayville area still under the possibility of tornadoes. So still severe storms and the possibility of tornadoes, and it's going to continue well into the nighttime hours. Ray, Leon?
All right, thank you so much, Dr. Forbes. From severe storms to winter's strong grip on the north. Summit County, Colorado, getting blasted with snow from Winter Storm Xanto.
Yeah, this winter storm is now moving toward the upper Midwest, already dropping over a foot of snow in some spots. It'll bring high winds and blizzard conditions as we head on through the next probably 12 to 24 hours. It's going to be a slow-moving system and maybe even impacting the Northeast.
Yeah, it's definitely a triple threat. Let's go ahead and show you some of the forecasts that we have in store for some parts of the area. We're looking at, we're definitely looking at Winter Storm Xanto, and we're going to go ahead and get some data up there for you. But that's a forecast that we can expect. And so this is all thanks to Winter Storm Xanto. You can expect quite a bit of heavy rain across the northern tier of the country as well. There you have it. You have some snow totals ending Monday night. You can expect almost a foot of snow towards Sioux Falls and Minneapolis, 1.5 feet in the dark purple areas. And check out the pink areas. Now that area, that's expecting to be almost 2 feet of snow, Ray.
Yeah, it is, and places in the UP actually below average. Marquette, I do know, actually, you haven't had quite the winter that you normally have, but yeah, not only do we have the snow, we've got thunder and lightning. That's right on that leading edge of the warmer air, so that warmer air overrunning some of that colder air, and here's where we get blizzard conditions if we do get them. It's out across Nebraska and into parts of South Dakota, too.
Absolutely. I mean, check out these winds, though. You're on gusting up to 54 miles per hour. You're in the snow, so that definitely continues to persist over 3 hours or more. You can definitely qualify for the blizzard conditions. I mean, you've already met it with the winds.
Yeah, and the winds will continue to rip even out into Minneapolis. Kind of right on the edge, though, the snow and the heaviest snow. But some of these winds will continue as we head on through tonight as Xanto continues to leave its mark here. Gusting in North Platte, 40 to 50 miles per hour. And as the storm moves through, as we get through Saturday morning, look at that dark blue. It's Sioux Falls as you get into some of the blizzard conditions. Omaha, gusting 35 to 40 miles per hour. And then Minneapolis, you're probably going to have the heart of it as we even go through the day Saturday and into Sunday. Some of this snow still hanging around in northern Michigan.
Yeah, it takes us all the way into Sunday night. So let's go ahead and take a look at a couple spots. Sioux City, Iowa. You can start seeing the snow picking up by Saturday, 8 a.m. You see the times on the very bottom of your screen. Those blue bars right in the middle indicates if you're going to be seeing light, moderate, or heavy snowfall. And actually, you're going to be seeing heavy snowfall all the way through Saturday afternoon before it slightly tapers off through Saturday evening and finally light by Saturday 11 p.m.
Yeah, it's going to be a good day to actually sit indoors, wait it out. Earlier we had I-80, I-90, and parts of I-70 were all closed in the plains, and now we are seeing all that slowly move on off toward the east. Now, Minneapolis, here's what it looks like tomorrow. It looks like later in the day, toward the evening hours on Saturday, that's when your heaviest snow come in. No on the top. The winds, 20, 25 miles per hour, will start backing off, and as we get through midday on Sunday, we're probably backing down to just snow flurries.
In Green Bay, Wisconsin, you can expect a doozy of a day for Saturday evening and into Sunday. Now, it's a little delayed for you as Santo heads your way, but you'll also be seeing the potential for gusty winds. Not quite blizzard conditions just because those winds need to be a little bit stronger, but we can still see quite a bit of snow. And as Santo heads into the northeast, we still have winter weather advisories popping up as well. Incredible video after drivers get caught in a possible tornado. This is Mountainburg, Arkansas. It's a dangerous night developing, and we've already seen tornadoes hit in several states already, and the threat far from over. There were reports of people trapped in their homes earlier in Crawford County after a possible tornado. You're watching special live coverage tonight. I'm meteorologist Leanna Brackett.
And I'm meteorologist Ray Stagekin. It's been a dangerous night so far. Those storms are continuing to roll off toward the north and east. Tornado warning, severe thunderstorm warnings right now. Let's get an update. We'll bring in severe weather expert Dr. Greg Forbes. Greg.
Thanks, Ray. Yeah, it is a very busy night. It's getting to be quite a line of thunderstorms. We're getting close to the St. Louis area with a couple of tornado warnings there in Missouri, coming out of Arkansas into Missouri, and then an isolated supercell thunderstorm ahead of the line down here in Louisiana with more storms down in Texas that are severe warned. We'll start with the tornado warned storms and start up in Missouri, coming in out of the area near Rolla up into Crawford County, Missouri with a possible tornado. This is a storm that is not one of these individual isolated storms. This is a big swirling mass of storms that is forming itself into a comma shape, and that comma head has the possibility of a tornado in that as it rolls northeast at more than 50 miles per hour. Let me do a little bit of an adjustment here for that position of that comma head, and then that would be coming right up toward Cuba, Missouri, by way of the Houston School, close to there now, Fox Springs, Fanning, and then up toward the Cuba area, probably at about 9:18. We're getting into a bad Doppler coverage area. We'll do a little bit of an adjustment on that and to get some updated values on that coming up pretty soon. Another one of these comma-shaped areas coming out of the Mountain Home, Arkansas area up into southern Missouri, crossing the state line into Howell and Ozark counties. There you can see that comma. And I'll do a little update for the new position. That would be giving the possibility of a tornado right around the Loyola area, and then by way of Bakersfield, the South Fork, up toward the West Plains, Missouri area at the times you see there in that white box. It does have some broad circulation, getting close to the area, the state line area just to the south of Bakersfield. Not a real tight circulation showing up there. No tornado warnings at the moment. Farther down to the south and supercell thunderstorms. And that's what we have down in Louisiana. We've had a tornado warning for this storm for quite a while. Still a Freestone, Limestone, and the Navarro counties. And south of that, you can see storms that are probably going to stay mostly to the north of Austin. There and around the Killeen area, we do have a severe thunderstorm up in the Killeen and the Temple areas. And this storm is putting out a little bit of an outflow. So when it does that and it gets detached, that sort of means that the storm is running into maybe a little bit more stable air, and these storms might weaken. We'll hope that trend continues. There are storms in southeast parts of Oklahoma, and then a pretty strong storm that is coming into southwest Arkansas, heading toward the Hot Springs and Arkadelphia area, severe warning for Garland, Montgomery, and Perry counties. Then that line coming across Marshall, Arkansas, just south of where the tornado warning is, Baxter, Searcy, and Stone counties. So a big line across Arkansas. The Kansas City storms have weakened. There's still a few severe storms now right up into the Des Moines, Iowa area. A small hail up to an inch in diameter and 60-mile-per-hour gusts, the main threat. Big upper air cold pocket, giving a winter storm on the cold side and a big squall line. You see the big high-top thunderstorms here in blue in this water vapor satellite imagery on the warm air. And our future radar shows that's going to continue into St. Louis by 11 o'clock or so, into the Little Rock area, heading toward, in several rounds, across the Shreveport area, and maybe even isolated severe storms coming toward the Houston area. Then as we get to 2 in the morning, getting toward the Memphis area, and then even toward sunrise, maybe toward Jackson, Mississippi, and Baton Rouge, Louisiana, and maybe even western parts of Kentucky and Tennessee, and then continuing farther east and rebuilding tomorrow and even into Sunday with a severe threat. And later on in this show, we'll talk a little bit more about those details coming up. Right, Liana?
All right, thank you so much, Dr. Forbes. And there was damage from a tornado in parts of Arkansas, and there's that ongoing dangerous weather now.
Yeah, so let's bring in Melody Daniel with the Arkansas Department of Emergency Management Agency. Melody, can you talk about the damage we've seen so far across the state?
Absolutely. We have been getting reports of damage in from several areas across the state. Most of those are located in the western part of Arkansas, particularly Crawford County. You mentioned the city of Mountainburg. They had some tornado damage there earlier this evening. In that county alone right now, we know of at least 160 structures that are damaged and at least 2,000 power outages across that county.
And we still have currently 1 tornado warning and several severe thunderstorm warnings currently in effect. So what's your advice for people as we head into the overnight hours?
One thing that we always tell our citizens is to find a trusted weather source, whether it's National Weather Service, local forecaster. Find that trusted weather service.
What's been coming in terms of, are there emergency personnel out, and how many people are out, and are we sending any additional teams out to assess damage, or are we still in a recovery mode, or are we still in a search mode?
Absolutely. We've got local emergency managers in every county, and so right now the counties that are most affected, they're already doing damage assessments in those counties. They're sending reports back into us. Right now, primarily the damages that are being reported to us are trees down, power lines down. Those are affecting roadways across several counties in Arkansas. Those first responders and emergency managers out in the counties, they're going to continue to work through the night until they're certain that the most danger has been mitigated as they can.
Thank you so much for taking the time out of your busy evening. Melody Daniel with Arkansas Emergency Management. And one place in this danger zone is Texarkana, Arkansas.
And that's where we find Chris Bruin. Chris, kind of taking a break. The storms are to your west, but now getting close. What's the latest?
All right, yeah, guys, we are here in Texarkana, Arkansas, Texarkana, Texas. I'm actually in Texas. This is the state line. Runs right through Brad under his legs, and as I am, too. It sits right on the border of 2 states. We've been very quiet, though. That's a good thing for residents and locals, like even those visiting. We've had a lot of tornado warnings to our north. In fact, there's a new tornado warning and severe thunderstorm warning into Arkansas, but about 30 miles to our north. That's where a lot of the storm activity has been. It's kind of just stacked over the same areas. If we can pull up radar, you can kind of get an idea of what we're looking at here. I'm going to put the radar in view so I have an idea of what to see as well. And you can get an idea of some of these storms. We're still tracking that main line, by the way, that's been slowly working its way from Dallas on this direction. Until that gets through, we're still not out of the woods. Keep in mind, we are still under a tornado watch through 10 p.m. Central Time in a particularly dangerous situation that doesn't get issued very often. Now, will everyone in that watch get a tornado? No, not everyone is going to get a tornado. But the chance is there, and you can't let your guard down until the coast is clear, and that hasn't happened yet. So, again, you really have to be prepared. Everyone here knows tornadoes. Of course, Texarkana has a long history of tornadoes. In fact, there's been about 114 tornadoes just since 1950 alone. So they've had their fair share of tornadoes in past days. Today we haven't seen any tornado warnings, but again, that could change, especially when you give into the fact that it's not just tornadoes we're tracking, but the possibility of large, damaging hail and very gusty winds. We've got much more continuing coverage right here on the Weather Channel when we return on the Weather Channel.
every yank of your tank is a tug of war. It's about time someone declared war on the tug. The Duluth Trading No Yank Tank. Stop yanking and get cranking. Only at Duluth stores and DuluthTrading.com.
Hands go here. Feet go here. You know what. And your approval rating goes here. Test drive the Z-Track Z540R at your John Deere dealer. Learn why it's not how fast you mow. It's how well you mow fast. Nothing runs like a Deere. Save $250 when you test drive and buy a John Deere Residential Z540R Z-Track mower. Lower costs. Lower calories. Higher expectations. The light beer you've been waiting for has arrived. Introducing Corona Premier.
It's the biggest news ever at Olive Garden. All new big Italian classics starting at $12.99. Dishes too big to miss and too good to pass up. Feast your eyes on the biggest meatball you've ever seen. Twirl up stuffed, yes, cheese stuffed fettuccine Alfredo. Plus all the salad and breadsticks you want. All new big Italian classics starting at $12.99 for a limited time only at Olive Garden. Olive Garden catering is now easier than ever. Order online.
You take care of business. Let Office Depot Office Max take care of you. And this week only at Office Depot Office Max, HP ink is buy one, get one for 30% off. Plus, never run out of ink with an Office Depot ink and toner subscription at OfficeDepot.com/ink.
You can drink, eat well, and exercise, but to look completely healthy, you need healthy skin. Cetaphil is clinically shown to gently cleanse and protect even the most sensitive skin against the drying effects of cleansing, so you can look healthier. Complete your healthy routine with Cetaphil.
There's a moment in your bones when the fire takes over.
Life has a million trails. The redesigned Jeep Cherokee was built for all of them. Get 0% APR financing for 60 months, plus $1,000 bonus cash for 2018 Jeep Cherokee models.
AMHQ weekend is a blast. I mean, we had so much fun.
Hi, store number one. How you doing? See you later, because you're going to go out to the Atlantic and we're never going to see you again.
AMHQ weekend is so much fun.
She's right. Sweet Pepto-Bismol. Look at this.
We're a little bit more laid back because it's the weekend.
It's not that complex. It's all about getting you ready for your weekend. Although I do advise wearing a crash helmet. We have a charge. We have a responsibility to provide information to people to help them, help the communities and their families stay safe. And it matters so much. We still have tornado warnings in southeast Missouri and northeast Louisiana and dangerous severe thunderstorms everywhere in between as we have a big line of thunderstorms from west of St. Louis near the Rolla, Missouri area down to west of Little Rock. A couple of embedded tornado circulations in there. And then individual supercell thunderstorms in a separate area northeast Louisiana. So let's take a look at tornado warnings at this time. One of them in St. Louis is over about here. So we're talking just east of Rolla, Missouri, a comma-shaped configuration of storms with a possible tornado that would be in Crawford County, working its way toward the Sullivan area. In that mass, I'll give it a little bit of an update as these storms moving pretty quickly northeast at about 50 miles per hour or so. So that would be pretty close to the Cuba, Missouri area right now. And then coming up toward places like Hofflands, Leesburg, and the Argo area. It is pretty close to Fanning, Missouri right now. Circulation, not a real tight circulation, but we do have that red going southwest, and at least in the storm relative sense, in that comma head area. So in between Cuba and Steelville is where the two wind directions come the closest together, and that would be a circulation heading up towards Sullivan. Then that has come out of Arkansas, the Mountain Home area, into the West Plains area of Missouri, Howell County, Missouri now with a tornado warning. Another one of these circulations embedded in the line close to the South Fork area, heading up toward West Plains and then Cull, Missouri at around 9:37. Then a couple of circulations down into northeast Louisiana, Morehouse, Richland, and West Carroll parishes in this storm that's now north and east of Rayville. And then one to the south of that, that has had a possible tornado with that around the start area, I believe it was, Richland Parish. That one doesn't show up quite as well on radar. I'll track the northern of the two. It's around the Bardell area, heading up toward Bearskin, Louisiana. And still some storms in Texas. We'll talk more about those coming up as well. Ray, Liana?
All right, thank you so much, Dr. Forbes. And the tornado threat is high tonight, with Arkansas having a TORCOM value of 7. It is a particularly dangerous situation.
And one place in the zone is Little Rock, Arkansas. That's where we find Ron Blum. And Ron, what is the latest out in Little Rock? I know they haven't seen too much of the way severe weather yet, but it looks like it's starting to get close.
If we were doing air traffic control, we'd say that storm front is on final approach. Less than 40 miles now, just to our west. And I've noticed that it's beginning, as it forms that very solid line, it's beginning to pick up in speed in that eastward drift. Now, all of this is trending very sharply to the northeast, but it is moving east faster as that front behind it begins to give it a little harder shove. Just check the temperature differential. It's about 10 degrees difference on one side or the other of that big band of storms, so that's going to give it some of that push and some of that energy as it moves in, and certainly we've seen the winds picking up a little bit here. Of course, you know, we had the one hit of a tornado out in far western Arkansas in the town of Mountainburg. It's up in the Boston Mountains. It's about a third of the way from Fort Smith up to Fayetteville. They had 4 people transported to hospitalized, over 100 buildings damaged, power out to 4,000. As this storm pushes across the state, Energy is now in their service area. They're reporting about 2,600 customers who have lost power. Undoubtedly, that number will climb a little bit. But as we said, Little Rock so far, just a little bit on and off again showers. But I'm pretty sure in the next 30 minutes when we come back, we're going to be testing out the vortex for you. Ray, Liana?
All right, thanks, Ron. And we've got active weather right now. Some latest warnings coming out we can show you. And these are tornado warnings. Doppler indicated Crawford, Franklin, and Washington counties now, as we are in the state of Missouri. St. Clair, Sullivan, and Union, if you are in those town cities, please take cover now. This is a tornado warning until 10 p.m. So dangerous storms are going to continue to roll north and on off toward the northeast. So if you are in these areas, please take cover. Pretty dangerous storm right now. Doppler indicated rotation within this thunderstorm.
watch. We have a responsibility to provide information to people to help them, help their communities, help their families stay safe, and it matters so much.
Currently in our area, 69 degrees under partly cloudy skies. Tonight, partly cloudy skies early will give way to cloudy skies later at night. Low 59, winds south at 5 to 10 miles per hour. Saturday, mostly cloudy, high 82, winds south-southwest at 10 to 15 miles per hour. Saturday night, mostly cloudy, low 65, winds south-southeast at 10 to 15 miles per hour. Here's our 7-day outlook.
Tornado warnings continue across parts of the central U.S. One of them is in eastern Missouri, and two others now in areas west of the Little Rock area in central Arkansas. These are all circulations embedded in this line, and then small supercell thunderstorms in northeast Louisiana, also with a couple of tornado warnings. So let's take a look at these tornado warnings. We'll work our way from north to south. St. Louis would be about in here, so we're talking about east of Rolla, Missouri, in Crawford, Franklin, and Washington counties, with a comma-type circulation. There can be tornadoes embedded in that comma head, and occasionally along the leading edge of the line of thunderstorms, the one along the comma head probably would be embedded in rain. So the circulation right about in there. Let me do a little bit of an update for the timing with the new position of this. As this storm moving northeast at about 55, it's pretty close to the Cuba, Missouri area right now, heading up toward Hofflands, Leesburg, Bourbon, and the West Sullivan area as it goes northeastward. Not extremely tight rotation with this. It is rotation characteristic of a rotating comma head. Some rotation there just south and east of Cuba and north and east of Steelville, heading up towards Sullivan, Missouri. Then we take a look here. We've lost the tornado warning. It's just a severe warning now down in southern Missouri, Howell County. That little kink in the line not showing a real tight tornado circulation at the moment. Then we come into Arkansas, north and west of Little Rock, Conway, Faulkner, and Perry counties with a tornado warning. This is a situation where there's a bow echo coming eastward, a little line of ordinary storms intersecting that. So sometimes these intersections will give tornadoes. And there's another one of those, a brand new popped up farther down in parts of Garland and Montgomery counties, down to the southwest of the Little Rock area, heading toward the Hot Springs area. I'm going to come back up and do the tracking of the one to the north. It would be affecting areas like Conway, Arkansas, at about 941, then over toward Greenbrier and the Enola areas, should that hold together. These are the kind of storms that little circulations can spin up. You see one place here where the red and green are pretty close. There's others that have possible circulation. So these are hard to track individual storms. Tornado can pop up there, and then that circulation can weaken, a new one can form. So anywhere from the Greenbrier and Conway areas and just to the west has that chance for damaging winds and a tornado. Then down to the supercell thunderstorms in Louisiana, northeast Louisiana, Morehouse, Richland, and West Carroll parishes, with a possible tornado in the areas just to the west of Epps, heading up toward Bearskin and the New Hope area, and then a circulation down around the Rayville, Mangum area of Richland Parish, with a possibility of a tornado as well. These are kind of in radar weak areas, but the possibility that there could be tornadoes associated with these storms. Ray, Leona?
All right, thank you so much, Dr. Forbes. Let's go ahead and continue talking about all those warnings that are popping up across the region. Yes, it's going to be a very dangerous night tonight.
Yeah, it is, and we're getting multiple warnings, and we do have a particularly dangerous situation. One of these watches, a PDS watch, at least one of them, and this is used when the tornado watches and the tornadoes are expected to be long-lived, intense tornadoes, quite uncommon. Only about 3% of the tornado watches issued are PDS watches, and Leanna, there's one of them.
Yeah, and Little Rock is included in that PDS tornado watch that's in effect until 10 p.m. Central Time. And we have multiple other tornado watches that are popping up. Let's go ahead and take a live look at radar right now. And yes, things are bubbling up. Little Rock, you are getting ready to see some storms. But let's go ahead a little bit farther north, and we're in Missouri right now. This is a tornado warning that's in effect until 10 p.m. Central Time for Crawford, Franklin, Washington counties, St. Clair, Sullivan, and Union. If you're anywhere in this vicinity or even towards I-44, definitely prepare to move indoors. Heed the warnings. Bourbon, 9:24 p.m. We're adjusting our timing right now. Sullivan, you can expect that storm to reach your doors by 9:31 p.m. Central Time. St. Clair at 9:47, Union 9:52, and Bowles at 10:02 p.m.
Yeah, right now I think these are all Doppler indicated rotation. I haven't seen anything yet and anything confirmed, but even down near Conway County and Faulkner County, Perry counties, just to the west and just north and west of Little Rock, this is a tornado warning. So the cities of Conway, Greenbrier, even into Plummerville here by 9:29, take cover now. Menifee, Worcester, and Greenbrier, as we said, by about 9:48. So pretty dangerous storm continuing to push on off to the northwest of Little Rock. More storms continuing to fire. Garland and Montgomery counties also. This is a tornado warning. If you are in the Percy area, Royal, Mountain Pine, and Blue Springs, take cover.
Weekend is a blast. I mean, we had so much fun.
Hi, store number one. How you doing? See you later, because you're going to go out into the Atlantic and we're never going to see you again.
AMHQ weekend is so much fun.
She's right. Sweet Pepto-Bismol. Look at this.
We're a little bit more laid back because it's the weekend.
It's not that complex. It's all about getting you ready for your weekend. Although I do advise wearing a crash helmet. Back
Continue to cover dangerous storms now. Here's a live look in Conway, Arkansas. Check it out. Got a little fire in the sky now, thunder, lightning. This is just northwest of, I believe, Little Rock, where things are about to go downhill pretty quickly.
Yes, I mean, traffic is still moving, but if you know anybody who's traveling through this area or anyone in the vicinity, you need to let them know that they are getting ready to see some tornado-warned storms that are headed their way.
Yeah, you can see there, the lightning going. You see a shelf cloud kind of lighting up there, and as these storms roll east, pretty high in the sky. It is dark out, but every time you see that lightning, you see that storm approaching as it heads in from the north and northwest.
And dangerous storms still ongoing tonight. You're watching special live coverage on meteorologically on a weekend.
And on meteorologist Ray Stajic, we have multiple dangerous tornadoes and thunderstorm warnings that are going on right now. And for an update, we're going to bring in our severe weather expert, Dr. Dave French.
Okay.
Thanks, Ray, and we do have tornado warnings in eastern Missouri, 2 of them in western Arkansas and 1 in north.
All right, YouTube. I know that this live stream has been for y'all being able to watch the Weather Channel. I'll put on closed captions for you. Or yeah, I'll put on the closed captions. You know what? I don't even know how to do that. You know I don't really care. But Cam the Man joins us, or joins me. Now Cam, we have 4 lined up TVS's of 6s and 5s. Have you been paying attention to the severe weather outbreak today? Cam.
Yeah?
Have you been paying attention to the severe weather outbreak? Because we have 4 TVSs lined up in a row right now. 5s and 6s.
Playing FSX, I see.
We've got tornado warnings that are radar indicating rotation with the storms. Now, all this is heading towards my area on Sunday. So my Radio Shack 262 may be the only weather radio that goes off that day, because the other ones I have unplugged right now. So going into here with these storms going to base velocity here, we've got individual or any along this storm that is near Conway, Arkansas. There is places where individual rotations could be on the side, and that is bad news because we won't be able to tell. So that's a whole line basically there that looks like it's bowing out and going the opposite direction of how the storms are going. But going now to the second tornado warned storm, I can't really see any other rotation there. But yeah, particularly dangerous situation tornado watch is still in effect for about 37 more minutes. Regular tornado watches continue, and the severe thunderstorm watch and almost that other tornado watch has been allowed to expire. So I'll take you right back to the Weather Channel.
Thunderstorms rolling across the Des Moines, Iowa area, no longer severe. All of this is courtesy of a big spinning upper low. The cold pocket is there.
I'll talk to you later. I got
the south and east flanks, the warm flanks of that. Look at all those blue severe thunderstorm tops, the high tops from south of Dallas up to the St. Louis area. Our future radar says that this that action from those storms will continue by midnight into the St. Louis area, into the Little Rock area, multiple rounds across Shreveport, and then maybe even some storms that will work their way toward the Houston area as we get into the wee hours of the morning. And as we head toward 3 a.m. or so, the storms get into Memphis, get into Jackson, maybe weakening around the sunrise time frame, and the Baton Rouge area as well. Western Kentucky, maybe in toward Middle Tennessee toward sunrise as well. So a number of these places could get damaging winds, and along these leading edge of these lines could still have a chance of tornadoes yet tonight. Ray, Liana?
All right, thank you so much, Dr. Forbes. And in fact, St. Louis has now been issued under a tornado watch in effect until 1 a.m. Central Time. Another spot that's in the danger zone, Texarkana, Arkansas.
Yeah, this is where the storms are getting pretty close, and that's where we find our own Chris Brew. And Chris, what's the latest?
All right, guys. Yeah, we're about 25 minutes away from our tornado watch expiring, at least here in southern Arkansas. And again, we haven't had any tornado warnings. That's great news for Texarkana, but that's not been the case everywhere else. In fact, just 30 miles to our north, that's where we've seen several tornado warnings over the last couple of hours, and also severe thunderstorm warnings. We're still tracking that strong line of storms as it continues to push east of Dallas and trying to work its way into portions of southwestern Arkansas and northern Louisiana. We'll continue to track that overnight, but as we get into the later hours of the night, we're starting to lose that instability. I think that played a big part, especially in the weather here in Texarkana. Before the stronger storms rolled in, we did have some cloudy skies for the majority of the day. There were some breaks in sunshine, and we did have a thunderstorm around just after lunchtime. But then it kind of stayed cloudy with some light showers, and because of that, it really stabilized the atmosphere here. So that's really helped us in our favor, protecting at least Texarkana. Not the case further north, of course, where we had those tornadoes that did cause damage and big issues is in northern Arkansas. But again, we're tracking that line as it continues to push across the natural state. So we're in Texarkana, Texas. Right here, we're going to jump over into Arkansas. This is the state line between the two states, and we're going to toss it up to about 2 hours to our north along Interstate 30 into Little Rock. And I want to send it over to Ron Blome. You're about to get crushed with some strong storms. No tornado warnings just yet, but there is one for your north in Conway and also to your south in Hot Springs. What's the latest there in Little Rock?
Well, we're certainly watching the situation just to our north at Conway. We're watching that DOT footage and all of the lightning show going on there. That is an area that's in part of our tornado alley, one of the tornado lanes, and it leads from Conway over towards Valonia community that's been hard hit a couple of times in recent years, and that tornado warning just barely stretches into Valonia, and that is something we're really watching. This whole system is now forming up in a very straight line as it drifts across the state, moving to the northeast, but sliding into Little Rock about 25 miles out. Let me tell you about some damage further north. There was a tornado warning earlier up in Mountain Home. That's an extreme north part of the state up on Bull Shoals Lake, and there was a nursing home, Hiram Shaddix Geriatric Center in Mountain Home on the campus of the Baxter County Hospital. It was damaged. Apparently no injuries to residents or staff, but enough damage to cause it to be evacuated. The power outage numbers now in central Arkansas are close to 5,000 customers out by energy, and also up in the northwest part of the state where we had that tornado in Mountainburg with 4 injuries. The power outage there about 4,000. So the storm still taking its toll. And I think it's interesting up at Conway where that tornado spawned up. That's where the storm has rolled off the mountains down into the Arkansas River Valley. So picking up a little bit of steam there. And I would say within 15 or 20 minutes, Arkansas, central Arkansas, is going to really get pasted by this, particularly in Little Rock. With that, let me send it back to you guys.
All right, thank you so much, Ron. And let's continue to track all those storms that are popping up across the region. We do want us to show you the watches that are currently in effect, including one particularly dangerous situation. That's some strong wording issued from the Storm Prediction Center that's associated with that tornado watch in effect until 10 p.m. But St. Louis, now you are currently under a tornado watch until 1 a.m. That is the newest development.
Yeah, they just pushed that watch a little bit further north. Now, understand the watch means severe weather possible in and around the watch area, and we are getting severe weather, especially now encroaching on Little Rock, but up toward the north here as we get just west of St. Louis now. This is a tornado warning for Crawford, Franklin, and Washington counties. The cities of St. Clair, Sullivan, and Union, these are areas where you should be taking cover now. St. Clair about 9:51 and 10:06 at around the Boyce area, and 10:20 in the Wildwood area.
Yes, we're going to go ahead and zoom a little bit farther southwest of the area. Now we still have this tornado warning currently in effect for parts of Conway, Faulkner, and Perry counties in effect until 10 p.m. And we're timing it out. If you see your city anywhere on this list on the top right, move indoors.
Get in for lunch now at Olive Garden with Lunch Duos starting at $6.99. Choose your favorite pasta, sandwich, or our new meatball pizza bowl. And pair it with all the super salad and breadsticks you want. Get never-ending value for lunch at
where storms are upon you now. Traffic light, wind, and severe weather threat not light as big storms are starting to roll on through as we speak.
Oh my goodness, you can see the water droplets really intensifying as well as the flashes of lightning out in the distance. I mean, definitely move indoors if you're anywhere in this area. If you know anyone who's driving right here, definitely have them move off the roads or at least get into a safe area because this storm is headed your way. And you can really tell that the rain is falling intensely because of how the camera is kind of getting splattered about with the rain droplets right there. And then the lightning is really intensifying. You see how bright it was, highlighting the skyline right there, and it's happening many times in just what, like a matter of minutes? Oh my goodness.
Yeah, and certainly you can see there on the roadways, the rain's coming down hard. Traffic, well, it probably should be slowing down, but it's having an impact. You see the brake lights going on there, and when you see the lightning flash, you can notice too how dark the clouds look just above the skyline too. So that's that line of storm starting to come in. If we get a chance, you can kind of see it there, those flashes of lightning as these storms come in. And it looks like there the rain has actually just picked up. You can kind of see sheets of rain coming across the roadways there, and those cars, slowing down and trying not to hydroplane on that heavy rain that's starting to move in.
Yeah, and Conway is just northwest of Little Rock. So as these storms head through Conway, they'll be heading in towards, ooh, that was a really bright strike right there. Those storms will be heading towards Little Rock, and we'll continue to see these storms just pummel this region. And again, I mean, if you're just now joining us, we're watching as this tornado-warned storm is moving through Conway, Arkansas. That's just northwest of Little Rock. And we're taking a live view of it from our Arkansas DOT camera right here.
Yeah, it looked like up at the top of the screen there, those cars are actually stopped now. I'm not sure what's going on there. It looks like the flashers are on, but certainly a little impact here. And those, as we said, very dangerous storms continuing to roll on off toward the east and heading toward Little Rock. Starting to look now, Leon, a little ominous now, even around St. Louis. Pretty shot, but not so pretty when it comes to what's coming.
No, not at all. St. Louis, you have just been added to that tornado watch that's in effect until 1 a.m. Central Time. And we do need to get ready for dangerous storms through the next couple of hours. We want to bring in severe weather expert Dr. Greg Forbes with the latest.
Yeah, and from that Conway video, you can see that these storms tonight are many times going to be wrapped in rain, so you won't see them coming. You'll need to have take shelter based upon the warnings. And one of them is probably getting close to the St. Louis area over the next hour or so. South Missouri now also has a new tornado warning, one in Arkansas, the Conway area, and one in northeast Louisiana. And we're getting severe storms working their way along our front down toward the Austin, Texas area as well. Here's the storm that's heading up towards St. Louis. St. Louis is located right about in there where I'll draw that circle. You can see a bow echo with a comma head to it that's around the Sullivan area. Sometimes within that comma head, it gets a little rotation. And so around the Sullivan area, the Dewar School area, the Anaconda area of Missouri, a chance of a tornado showing up there. Now, the rotation has continued to weaken. We're seeing a very broad and a weakening rotation with this comma circulation. So it looks like it's probably going to be mainly a straight line damaging wind gust threat, but sometimes these circulations will re-intensify. Down into southern Missouri, reorganization of a bow echo, a little dogleg kink in that. Howell, Oregon, and Shannon counties, a possibility of a tornado there. Places like Montier, Birch School, and the Oak Grove School area. There is pretty decent circulation showing up on this one, east of West Plains, Missouri. So that will hit up toward the Winona area. Then in Arkansas, Faulkner County, Conway, one of these dog legs in the line near Conway, heading over toward Holland and the Enola area with a possibility of a tornado. Not extremely tight circulation showing up with this. Mostly we're seeing this dog leg again with west winds coming in and strong rain-blown winds coming across the area. The tornado warning that was in effect down around the Hot Springs area has expired, but we have still a severe warning for Garland, Perry, and Saline counties, and that line will possibly get into the Little Rock area within the course of an hour. The circulation seems to have weakened there. Down into Louisiana, Morehouse, Richland, and West Carroll parishes still have that tornado warning. Up to the areas just to the north of Rayville, up toward the Goodwill Elementary School area, the Oak Grove, the Kelly Dumas area, with a possibility of a tornado. And northwest of Austin, around the Marble Falls, severe thunderstorms.
More and more people. We made Local Now, the only way to stream your city. A 24/7 feed, instantly connecting you to your community. And because it's always streaming, you can watch it anywhere on the only schedule that matters. So you can be the hipster of what's happening, the guru of what's going on, a neighborhood knowledge ninja. Local Now. Go ahead, stream on.
Currently in our area, 69 degrees under partly cloudy skies. Partly cloudy skies early will give way to cloudy skies later at night. Low 59. Winds south at 5 to 10 miles per hour. Saturday, mostly cloudy. High 82. Winds south-southwest at 10 to 15 miles per hour. Saturday night, mostly cloudy. Low 65. Winds south-southeast at 10 to 15 miles per hour. Here's our 7-day outlook.
People would stare. Psoriasis does that.
It was tough getting out there on stage. I want it.
Channel's coverage unique is that we are meteorologists. We know the weather, and that makes a tremendous difference.
We're taking you back to Conway, Arkansas. That is just northwest of Little Rock, and you can see this part of the area being pummeled with rain and also flashes of lightning periodically in the sky out there. And you can see how intense this rain is falling. We do still have lots of rain droplets on this camera lens, but you can see how wet the roads are, and cars are definitely driving a lot slower. Well, except for that one over there. Cars are definitely driving a lot slower now, Brian.
Yeah, they are, and pretty dangerous storms heading toward Little Rock area as we speak. Heavy rainfall, one threat, strong winds, and then even the risk for tornadoes. This area is under a tornado watch and a PDS watch, a particularly dangerous situation. As you can see there, we're seeing plenty of lightning light up the sky too as these storms continue to head on off toward the east. So if you're on the Conway area, it does look light though from a few minutes ago. It has lightened up just a little bit, but still, these storms will roll east and head toward Little Rock here pretty soon.
Absolutely, and we continue to track these storms across the region. You're still expecting to see all of these storms. St. Louis, you are the newest addition to that tornado watch. It's now in effect until 1 a.m. Central Time, and you can see how gloomy the skies are. And actually, you can see how fast the clouds are moving in the sky right there. I mean, they are really chugging along over there. Very active system right there.
Yeah, now we've got St. Louis actually in a tornado watch now, so chance for severe storms, which could be tornadic here in and around the St. Louis area. And for the latest on some of these dangerous storms, we bring in our severe weather expert, Dr. Greg Forbes.
Thanks, Ray. And there is a low-level jet just a few thousand feet above the ground, about 60 miles per hour from the south-southwest, while the winds at the surface are from the south-southeast. So it's that kind of a turning of the winds with height that give us the potential for tornadoes. And we do have tornado warnings west-southwest of St. Louis, down into southern Missouri, into areas north of Little Rock and northeast Louisiana, and some severe thunderstorms across Texas. We'll take a look here at the tornado warnings first. This is the one that is south of the St. Louis area. St. Louis would be right in around that red circle area, so we're talking down around areas south and west of that, rolling northeast at about 50 miles per hour with a tornado warning across Crawford, Franklin, and Washington counties. It's not an individual supercell rotating thunderstorm. It's a big swirling mass, a line of storms that has a comma shape to it, and that comma head around Sullivan, there you can see it right there, a little tight little curly cube is rotating. So places like Anaconda and St. Clair, and then ultimately Union, would have the possibility of a tornado. Now, the rotation over the past half hour seems to have weakened. We still are seeing this part, but we're not seeing a real tight red-green couplet showing up in here. So this is the kind of thing that probably is going to give some strong winds and heavy rain, but the chances of tornadoes are not real high, thank goodness. Down in southern Missouri, it's not a full comma shape, but it's a dogleg in the line with a little tight circulation right about in there. Tornado warning for Oregon and Shannon counties. Here you see that little circulation. So places near the Montier, the Birch Tree area, Winona, with the possibility of tornadoes. This one does show that circulation, but it's very broad associated with that. So there's a chance of a tornado forming if that circulation tightens up. Again, it's a bow echo that's surging forward here in Arkansas near the Conway area. There's going to be a period of very heavy rain with all of this. You know, on the leading edge, coming across Faulkner, Lone Oak, and White counties, not out of the question there could be a tornado. In particular, see that little dimple that comes forward there? There's another one there. It's those kind of little dimple-like circulations that can sometimes have a tornado-type circulation with that. So anywhere near north and south of Holland, near Valonia, and north of that, Antioch, McRae, all of this area has some chance of a brief tornado setting in. And that line of thunderstorms continues down into the Hot Spring area. These strong storms now should be within a half hour of coming into the Little Rock area, and you can't rule out some damaging winds or even a tornado with those. Down into northeast Louisiana, Morehouse, West Carroll parishes, this storm has moved very slowly. It's actually almost stalled out. New storms keep reforming down on its south end and work northward. So there have been at times some debris signatures showing up here. Places like north and east of Oak Ridge, around Bearskin, Goodwill Elementary School, Kelly Dumas, and Oak Grove would be at threat. Now down into Texas, here is Austin. And so some strong storms weakening a little bit, though, as they come east of Marble Falls with a little bit of an outflow. These little narrow green lines farther to that's the outflow, a rain-cooled outflow from the storms up around Temple. There is some of that as well. So some strong storms in a number of places, right, Leona?
All right, thank you so much, Dr. Forbes. Yes, and we want to continue to track all those storms with you. Again, a very dangerous evening and night ahead of us. Still have the tornado watches in effect until 6 a.m. now. It's been extended for Saturday morning Central Time for parts of this region embedded in the red.
I think we were told too, Leanna, that it's not a PDS watch anymore, so that's actually some good news. And in and around Little Rock, now is the time for the severe storms to come on through. So Little Rock included in some of these warnings now. Does look like we've dropped most of the tornado warnings around Little Rock. Looks like there's one up into southern Missouri there. We still got one near Little Rock too, but this is closer on up further toward the north near St. Louis for Crawford, Franklin, and Washington counties. This is a tornado warning. St. Clair, Sullivan, and Union. If you are in these cities, take cover now. Find an interior room. If you have a basement, get into your basement, cover yourself up, and just until this storm passes over the next 30 minutes around Union at 10:06 and at 10:21 at Pacific, and even around 10:43, expecting to see near the St. Peters area.
And a little bit farther south of that, the counties of Oregon and Shannon, you are in a tornado warning. It's in effect until 10:15 p.m. Central Time. If you're anywhere in this vicinity, you need to take cover now. Looks like there's a State Route 160 that's just behind it, but it's on the way to State Route 60. And we're timing it out on the right-hand side of your screen. 10:04 Birch Tree is when you can expect the storm to roll through Delaware at 10:16 p.m. Central Time and imminent at 10:23 p.m. Central Time.
Yeah, these storms continue to roll even further south now, heading towards Searcy, Arkansas. Counties of Faulkner, Lone Oak, and White counties. If you're in Beebe, El Paso, and Latonia, expect to see severe weather, potentially a tornado here as some of these storms roll on off toward the east with strong winds.
And we've seen it all night. Tornadoes and severe storms from Texas to Missouri. This video of a rotating supercell thunderstorm from Waco. You can just see the lightning below that and also that churning sky. Some scud clouds kind of popping in and out of that wall right there, but a lot of action. And you can really start seeing it rotate through as it gets closer towards the right-hand side of your screen.
Yeah, pretty amazing sometimes what you get from some of this video and what Mother Nature can do. It is a very dangerous night. Angry storms out there are certainly impacting now just southwest of St. Louis. We're getting into the Little Rock area now as some of those storms roll through Louisiana, and those storms will roll east overnight.
You're watching special live coverage. I'm meteorologist Leanna Brackett.
And I'm meteorologist Ray Stajic, and multiple dangerous tornado and thunderstorm warnings are in effect right now. Let's get an update. Severe weather expert Dr. Greg Forbes. Greg?
Thanks, Ray. And some good news. The tornado warning that was southwest of St. Louis, at least for the moment, has expired. We still have a severe thunderstorm warning there. There, you see the red just disappear. Still tornado warning in southern Missouri, one north of Little Rock, and we've just lost the tornado warning for northeast Louisiana. But in yellow, still a lot of severe thunderstorms along a line from St. Louis down to southwest of Little Rock, and some pretty strong to severe storms coming across Texas. Let's take a look at where the tornado warnings either are or just have disappeared. This is the line of thunderstorms that's coming up now toward the St. Louis area. In fact, St. Louis County is under a severe thunderstorm warning. There, I broadened out, and you see the St. Louis metro area. So a big squall line is coming northward. There is a bit of an embedded comma circulation there north of the Sullivan area, right near I-44, that had previously been tornado warned. It's that feature that's probably going to drive the fastest winds right up with this squall line into the St. Louis area. So St. Louis, you're under warning at the moment for damaging winds coming into your area, and can never totally rule out a brief tornado reforming with this kind of a circulation. Down into southern Missouri, Oregon, and Shannon counties, another one of these bow echo features with a little bit of a rotating calm ahead there. Possibility of a tornado with that one, especially places like the Bartlett area and then the Winona area. This one showing a velocities. It's not real strong, but there's a bit of a circulation showing up there, and that would be heading up toward that Winona area. Again, probably more wind, but you can never rule out a tornado. Going farther down that line then into Arkansas, Faulkner, Lone Oak, and White counties, just east of Conway now, with a tornado warning. There are a couple of little kinks in that front end of the circulation of that line, and those indicate sometimes some circulation, some inflow that will form brief tornadoes. So anywhere places like Enola, El Paso, Floyd, Crosby, over toward the Griffithville area, the Searcy area, a chance of a tornado. Also blinding rain and damaging winds coming into the area. Little Rock, you're under severe thunderstorm warning now as severe thunderstorms roll right into the metro area from the west-southwest. So possibility of 60-mile-per-hour winds or so, and maybe some small hail. And again, these kind of, with the line coming eastbound and some of these little bands going northbound, there's always a chance of the intersection that you'll get a brief tornado out of these situations. We've lost a tornado warning now down in northeast Louisiana. It's a severe thunderstorm warning for parts of East Carroll, Morehouse, and West Carroll parishes. We had the tornado warnings previously, and it would be along the leading edge of that storm that will elementary school over the Grove area. Should we get a new tornado, it would be there. Storms weakening in Texas, northwest of Austin, up into the Gerald area, the Temple area, beginning to put out some of these little fine lines. That's rain-cooled air, outflow boundaries, gust fronts that are coming away from the storms. When they march away like that, it means things are stabilizing. There you see it happening as we head toward the College Station area. So some good news there. Those storms weakening up around the Palestine, Texas area, heading toward Nacogdoches and Carthage and Tyler. Still a pretty well-defined bow. A number of counties under warning there, including over toward Longview area, the Cherokee, Rusk, and Smith counties in Texas. You see that whole line of thunderstorms coming across, still with a one tornado warning up near Searcy County area, Conway area, but that line is coming all the way across Arkansas, including all the way up to the Missouri line there, including up into the Independence, Izard, and Stone County regions. Up in Iowa, near the warm front, thunderstorms, lightning, maybe some small hail, but probably the severe threat is diminished there now with the cooling taking place. Upper level low, getting snow on the cold side, And down where the temperatures are warm enough, big high-top thunderstorms in this water vapor satellite imagery, they show up in blue. And this area is going to gradually march its way east into southern Illinois, into Kentucky, into Tennessee, and across Mississippi tonight. Here's our future radar showing that some of the timing of that. By midnight, the storm is probably past or at least over St. Louis, heading toward the Paducah area, across the Little Rock area. It might be some heavy rain as these storms mull around a little bit, going southwest to northeast. Weakening storms coming across Texas, but marching across northern Louisiana, maybe weakening, but coming into north parts of Mississippi, maybe some damaging wind gusts, and by sunrise, and even still a chance of an isolated tornado in some of these areas overnight. Farther east tomorrow, we'll have a resumption in the afternoon of severe weather and even a tornado threat. You'll hear more about that coming up. Ray, Liana?
All right, thank you so much, Dr. Forbes. And we do have a severe thunderstorm warning right now for Little Rock.
And these storms are about to move through the metro area within the next hour or so. So we find our own Ron Blum there. Ron, what's the latest? Doesn't look like it's there quite yet.
Not yet. We've been watching some lightning on the horizon. That eased up just a little bit. But I've been watching the radar too. And for instance, just looking up to the northeast of Little Rock, the pretty heavily populated area of suburban type bedroom communities, BB Cabot on up to Searcy, those are all in the targeted range of this storm. I would be aware of that. One of the things we've been seeing is this line became a little more even, as every so often it would bow out a little bit. It bowed out real big time at Conway, and that produced those 2 tornado warnings, one of them that's still in effect. If you look a little further north on radar up to Batesville, a real significant bow is beginning to push out there. So if I was in the Batesville area, I'd be paying particular attention to the storm. A few raindrops just beginning to come down now, so I think it's just a few minutes away from really coming through Little Rock. I think when it comes through, it's going to be pretty intense. They were talking about winds, especially where it's bowing out at 50 or 60 miles an hour. Up in the North Arkansas community of Mountain Home, there was damage to a nursing home. No injuries reported, but enough damage that they were going to have to evacuate it. It was on the same property as the Baxter County Hospital, so that was probably eased that situation. As we had heard earlier, we did have that tornado strike out in far northwest Arkansas in Mountainburg. Up in the mountains, tornadoes don't care whether it's mountainous or not, and they did go through that community. Saw some aerials on one of the local affiliates, and it looked like it was at least an F1 or maybe an F2. A lot of broken trees and houses knocked off their foundation. So still going to be a dicey night in Arkansas, especially as this front moves in on central Arkansas. Ray, Liana?
Now, certainly we're going to see more heavy rain come on in, but let's go back a little bit here. We're going to check out some video we got. This was just from a little bit ago in the Conway area, the tornado warned storm that just moved through. Look at that.
Oh, wow.
Intense lighting. I mean, lighting up the sky there. I mean, just an amazing amount of electricity in the sky. Pretty impressive here on this Friday night. Almost looks like daytime at one point.
Yeah, I mean, those were some intense storms that moved through the area. Let's continue tracking these storms. We still have several tornado watches currently in effect. This part of the area is expected to see these tornado watches linger through 6 a.m. Central Time Saturday morning. Now, we have lost that wording from the Storm Prediction Center of that particularly dangerous situation, so that does give us a good sign that things are not going to be quite as severe as we get through the next several hours, but we still have severe weather out there.
Yeah, so maybe we lowered the tornado risk just a little bit, but still a couple of warnings out there. Now getting into St. Louis, the city of St. Louis now. This is a severe thunderstorm warning, so not a tornado warning, but now a new severe thunderstorm warning issued for the city of St. Louis, Franklin, Jefferson, and St. Louis counties for the cities of St. Charles and St. Louis. Damaging winds, potentially heavy rainfall, thunder, lightning. Oregon and Shannon counties, this is a tornado warning in southern Missouri, just north of Thayer, where they've had heavy rainfall, and some of that heavy rain moving north. Some areas affected by this storm, Birch Tree and Bartlett.
hour to drive there.
Yeah, seems like you need local now. It's like your local news, but streaming when and where you want it. Now, the next time disaster strikes, you'll be ready to swoop in and save the day. Local Now. Stream on.
We have a charge, we have a responsibility to provide information to people to help them, help their communities, help their families stay safe, and it matters so much.
Check this out from moments ago. A big flash of lightning here in the Conway area. A tornado-warned storm just moved the area spot right here. But check out that intense lightning. It was accompanied by heavy rain, torrential downpours. You're seeing the cameras covered in water droplets right there, but it's really the night sky that's lighting up that really catches your attention. This is just northwest of Little Rock. This same storm is headed towards Little Rock as we speak.
And anytime we get this amount of lightning, usually the sign of pretty intense storms, and now those storms are rolling on off toward the east and into Conway now. We could see that things look, pretty rainy. Now we're down near the Little Rock area, in the Maumelle area. These storms now start to blow through. You can kind of see there the camera's wavering just a little bit, but dangerous storms nonetheless, packing wind, and haven't heard any hail reports, but starting to hear some reports too, Leanna, some very heavy rainfall.
Yeah, I mean, we had a report a little bit north of here in Missouri of 3/4 of an inch in just, get this, 10 minutes. So in 10 minutes, 3/4 of an inch of rain. I mean, that is a lot of rain. The potential for flash flooding is definitely likely. You can see the waves of rain moving across the roads right there. And I mean, people are kind of stopped right there. Obviously, a stoplight, it looks like. But you can just see it in the lights. It almost looks like kind of a little ominous, almost like smoke. But that's all that heavy rain that's pushing through the area.
Yeah, and some of that rain, those thunderstorms heading into the St. Louis area now, where severe thunderstorm warning is in effect. So St. Louis getting hit pretty hard too. So big storms starting to get into some pretty heavily populated areas, St. Louis and even the Little Rock area too. So some pretty big storms starting to roll in.
Yeah, so we want to take a closer look at, of course, St. Louis, you are under that tornado watch that's in effect until 1 a.m. Central Time. So, yes, those ominous-looking skies look definitely, the clouds had kind of calmed down. Just a moment ago, we were actually watching these clouds really stream across the sky right there. But things have quieted down, but the storm is looming ahead. Oh, we just caught a flash of lightning right there, too. So things are going to start picking up here in the next several minutes.
Yeah, we think so. It's going to be sooner rather than later. We can expect maybe some gusty winds and potentially some hail, which we're not seeing too much of, and thunder, lightning, and there's a risk that these storms still could become tornadic. As we take a look at the radar, we can see here that this line of storms now rolling through Little Rock. Tornado watch now, but it's not a PDS watch anymore, so the threat for tornadoes has lessened a bit. It's not zero, but stronger storms now moving into the St. Louis metropolitan area.
And we have several severe thunderstorm warnings currently in effect. They're all out in the yellow. This is for parts of Franklin, Jefferson, and St. Louis County and in effect until 11 p.m. Central Time. You can expect strong gusty winds. Winds up to 60 miles per hour are possible. We still have tornado warnings currently in effect as well. This is for parts of Oregon and Shannon counties until 10:15 p.m. Central Time. If you're anywhere in this area near Bartlett, Winona, Eminence, definitely make sure you head to your safe area in your home, in the lowest part of your home, in a basement if you have one. And again, these go until 10:17 p.m. Central Time, all the way to 10:29 p.m. Central Time for Eminence.
Yeah, and this is to that area there where we had that 3/4 of an inch of rain in 10 minutes, so heavy rain's also a threat. Let's jump ahead, take a look at tomorrow. As a severe weather threat will continue to roll east. Leanna, it looks like we get into Mississippi, even on into parts of Alabama, and eventually I think northwest Georgia.
And we do have several torcons currently in effect. Granted, there are 4s for southern and central Mississippi, torcon of 3 for northwest and west Alabama, and we still have a threat for seeing tornadoes within a 50-mile radius of that area.
And let's watch the squall line as it comes on through. So it kind of becomes a little bit more linear, especially southwest out across Louisiana. As you can see, some of the parishes by early morning get hit pretty hard. And notice southeast Louisiana and then into parts of Mississippi and northwest Alabama, some of those storms, and then refiring late tomorrow and tomorrow evening into northwest Georgia.
Please keep your shoes on.
like you need local now. It's like your local news, but streaming when and where you want it. Now, the next time disaster strikes, you'll be ready to swoop in and save the day. Local Now. Stream on.
Enter the world.
A charge. We have a responsibility to provide information to people to help them, help their communities, help their families stay safe, and it matters so much.
Currently in our area, 68 degrees under mostly cloudy skies. Tonight, cloudy, low 59, winds south at 5 to 10 miles per hour. Saturday, mostly cloudy, high 82, winds south-southwest at 10 to 15 miles per hour. Saturday night, mostly cloudy, low 65, winds south-southeast at 10 to 15 miles per hour. Here's our 7-day outlook.
We're back in Little Rock in the Maumelle area. Yeah, more thunder, more lightning, and heavy rainfall. Wind-swept rain here. Visibility's down. Look at these cars kind of taking it easy, doing the right thing. If you're home and you got somebody out on the roadways, hopefully, if you're in this area, tell them to take it easy. Severe thunderstorm warnings. I think we are now void of tornado warnings. That's at least some good news.
Yeah, I mean, we do have several severe thunderstorm warnings currently in effect, and occasionally you can kind of see some waves or ripples right there on the ground of that rain being pushed by those strong winds that are associated with.
Okay, guys, brand new flash flood warning to pass on to you. The National Weather Service in Jackson has issued a flash flood warning for Central Morehouse Parish in northeastern Louisiana, West Carroll Parish in northeastern Louisiana until 1:15 a.m. Central Daylight Time. At 10:18 p.m. Central Daylight Time, Doppler radar indicated thunderstorms producing heavy rain across the warned area. Up to 3 inches of rain have already fallen. Flash flooding is expected to begin shortly. Some locations that will experience flooding include Jones, Goodwill, and Oak Ridge. Precautionary preparedness actions: turn around. Don't drive while encountering flooded roads. Most flood deaths occur in vehicles. So, yeah. And I got that on weather radio. Let's see here. Let me refresh. Wait, what? Really? Guess it didn't record it. Oh well. But now I'm taking y'all back to the Weather Channel.
And these storms could actually spin up and they may become tornadic once again. So dangerous storm nonetheless. Take cover in these areas.
Yeah, we're working our way across the area. Severe thunderstorm warnings popping up for Carter, Ripley counties, and in fact until 10:45 p.m. Central Time. Again, these strong straight line winds can do some major damage. We've seen reports of power outages due to these storms, as well as tree limbs just completely ripped off of these thanks to these winds.
Yeah, and some of those storms too. There was a nursing home where we didn't get any reports of any injuries. I think it was up near the Mountain Home area. Had reports of damage, and luckily, at least no reported injuries yet. But severe storms continue to roll east now, and now getting into the heart of St. Louis. So as you go to Lanoka and Pulaski and Saline counties, this is a severe thunderstorm warning for Jacksonville, the city of Little Rock, and North Little Rock. So strong winds, maybe some hail with these storms, and once again, we are in this tornado watch, and these storms could spin up, and we may actually see rotation in some of these storms. And if we do, that's when the Weather Service would go out and they would issue a tornado warning.
Absolutely. And from severe storms to winter, strong grip on the north. Summit County, Colorado, getting blasted with snow from Winter Storm Xanto.
And this winter storm is moving now toward the upper Midwest, and it's going to bring with it high winds and blizzard conditions. And some areas that could see some of these strong winds and heavier snowfall. Minneapolis, where it was pretty quiet at the beginning of the winter, then we had that warm February, now March and April have kind of really had its impact on the upper Midwest.
Yeah, and through Sunday, you're under that blizzard warning and that pink, but the local National Weather Service offices have issued these winter storm watches, advisories, and warnings for all this snow that's associated with Winter Storm Xanto. Now, Winter Storm Xanto is not only bringing in the snow, but also that severe threat that we're watching as well. But we'll go back into that in just a moment. But first, check out how much snow we can expect across the upper Midwest. From now into Monday night, that's a lot of snow. We're talking inches, or feet, not inches.
Yeah, I mean, look at that, 18 to 24 inches in that area of pink, northern and Wisconsin, and out into the UP of Michigan. Marquette, actually, you are below average this year, so you did not have a big lake effect here, but now you're going to make some of that up. And this is one of the areas here where we're seeing some of those wind gusts now down near Colby, getting in excess of 35 miles per hour, and more snow showers around even further north.
Yeah, and hurry, you've been gusting at 55 miles per hour in that snow, so that's definitely cranking. And even across towards the UP, and we'll continue to track this threat as well as the severe next.
AMHQ weekend is a blast. I mean, we had so much fun.
Hi, storm number one. How you doing?
See you later, because you're going to go out to the Atlantic and we're never going to see you again.
AMHQ weekend is so much fun.
She's right. Sweet Pepto-Bismol. Look at this.
We're a little bit more laid back because it's the weekend.
It's not that complex. It's all about getting you ready for your weekend. Although I do advise wearing a crash helmet.
We've seen it all night. Tornadoes and severe storms from Texas to Missouri. This video of a rotating supercell thunderstorm from Waco. And you can watch as it shifts from left to right on your screen. And you can see the swirling mass of clouds. A few scud clouds kind of popping out from occasionally from the bottom of it. But even those flashes of lightning, it's a really intense video right there.
Yeah, it is. I mean, just showing the rotation on some of these thunderstorms. And we've had rotating thunderstorms tonight. We haven't had many reports of tornadoes, but we have had quite a few tornado warnings. Luckily, right now, things kind of coming down a little bit. Not much in the way of active tornado warnings. As a matter of fact, I don't think we have any right now.
Yeah, I mean, we've had multiple severe thunderstorm warnings as well as flash flood warnings that are popping up now, but it's as we get through tonight. You're watching special live coverage. I'm meteorologist Liana Brackett.
And I'm meteorologist Ray Stajic, and multiple severe thunderstorm warnings currently in effect. We're even starting to see some flash flood warnings right now, so let's get the latest. Our severe weather expert, Dr. Greg Forbes.
Thanks, Ray. And we do have severe thunderstorm warnings, in fact, for St. Louis, Missouri, for Little Rock, Arkansas, and mainly a line of thunderstorms now that does go from St. Louis down into southeast Missouri, into central Arkansas. Takes a little bit of a break across the Texarkana area, and then some severe thunderstorms in East Texas, and one lone supercell still out on the Arkansas-Louisiana border there. So let's take a look from basically from north to south. The St. Louis metro area. This is a storm that has had a big swirling mass, a convective complex, sometimes we call it, that is had a little bit of low pressure near that central point there, that comma head, and that is pushing its way up towards St. Louis. No longer tornado warned for that circulation. That circulation could mean some stronger winds that are blasting into its south, right into the St. Louis metro area. So St. Louis County and City, as well as Franklin and Jefferson counties, you're under a severe thunderstorm warning. Then down to the southeast part of the state, I've gone to a little bit of a coarser radar portrayal because it's kind of in between all the radars, but a severe thunderstorm for Carter and Ripley counties in southeast Missouri. This, too, is one of those bow echoes, so damaging winds the primary threat. Along the leading edge of these, you can never totally rule out a brief tornado circulation, but these lines tonight have not looked particularly prone to that. Down across the border then into northern Arkansas, a number of counties under severe warnings from north of Searcy heading over toward the Jonesboro, Arkansas area. Damaging winds the main threat, but there are some little protrusions out the leading edge of that line that occasionally will turn into a little tornado circulation. Just to the north and east now of Little Rock, a little bit of a stronger surge of that line across Lone Oak, Prairie, and White counties with a damaging wind threat, and severe thunderstorm warnings for Little Rock proper, the entire metro area over toward Lone Oak, and then down to Benton and the England areas, Lone Oak, Pulaski, and Saline counties, 60-mile-per-hour gusts the main threat. Down then isolated supercell ahead of that main line that I was talking about, still for East Carroll, Morehouse, and West Carroll parishes, and down into Arkansas, Ashley, and Chico counties with that threat for here. There's still some lavender core, so there could be still some 1 inch or larger hail and damaging wind gusts. Then over into Texas, there's Austin, so the storms have come through there. The outflow boundary from earlier storms has come through non-severe, but might still have a strong gust here north and east of Taylor and Milam County, and the outflow boundary coming right into College Station. You'll feel a cool down and some shifting winds. It is a bow echo, though, that's still severe coming across Tyler, Texas. That over the next couple of hours will work its way over into the Shreveport, Louisiana area. And I've turned on the lightning here to show that even up in Iowa, where you're in the cooler air just north of a warm front, still, even though these storms are not severe, they have lightning from east of Des Moines up to the Waterloo area. So if these lightning-based producing storms could be deadly, you want to go indoors when thunder is roaring. Big cold pocket aloft across Nebraska. And then on its southeast side, we have a lot of very warm air that's giving these high-top thunderstorms in that line that I was talking about. On its cold side, we have winter storm that is going and will continue across the northern parts of the country. Future radar shows that these lines of thunderstorms will get in toward the Paducah area after 1 in the morning. still be in the Little Rock area, mulling around maybe by midnight or 1 o'clock, passing Shreveport 1 o'clock or so. A few storms might still be severe here and there across Texas and northern Louisiana, even into the wee hours of the morning. Memphis, 3 o'clock or so. And then the storms maybe by 5 or 6 or sunrise into the Jackson, Mississippi area, with some resumption of severe weather farther east of these areas. Tennessee, Mississippi, Alabama tomorrow. Even a severe weather threat once again on Sunday as the storm system heads east. So we're not out of the woods yet tonight. Still could get a tornado. Still a few places could get damaging winds and some flooding too. Ray, Leon?
All right, thank you so much, Dr. Forbes. And one spot that's under a severe thunderstorm warning right now is Little Rock, Arkansas.
And the storm is about to move through the metro area within the next hour or so. And that's where we find Ron Blom. Ron, finally looks like you've got some rain there. What's the situation right now?
Well, it finally arrived. And boy, it is a cold rain. In fact, I feel like I'm standing in a river here as it kind of washes down into the parking lot. But let me tell you about, we were watching those images earlier from Conway, Arkansas, the rain and the lightning. The University of Central Arkansas up there earlier today canceled all activities as of 3 p.m., probably for good reason. One of the dorms there, Carmichael Dorm, was hit by high winds as the storm pushed through about an hour ago. They are evacuating the students into a student center. Nobody hurt. There was a nursing home in Mountain Home in North Arkansas, also damaged by high winds. They had to evacuate those residents into the next door hospital as they tried to find places for them elsewhere in the town. In Mountainburg, in the far north of Arkansas, had the only major tornado hit with significant damage, more than 100 homes, 4 injuries, and we saw some aerials from there. Pretty significant damage, looked like an F1 or an F2. This line has really formed up into a solid line of storms that have been creeping across the state. It's picking up speed now. Here we are in Little Rock. We were expecting this rain at 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock, and we're 4 or 5 hours later, and it has finally moved into the Little Rock area. I don't think it'll be here more than an hour or so. It's going to creep onto the east. Memphis is going to get it later. It is, of course, stretching from Texas all the way up to St. Louis. And as you can see, and maybe hear the thunder and see some of the lightning behind me, it is really letting loose in Little Rock now. And Oren, I don't know if you can pan out, but you just see how deep this water has gotten around me as it's just sweeping off the parking lot. It's going to be wet, and there could be some potential for some flash flooding. So I can't hear too well right now, but let me throw it back to Ray and Leon.
All right, thank you so much, Ron, for that report. And let's go ahead and time out several other spots that will be in the line for seeing that severe weather threat. Starting off with Memphis, right now, mostly cloudy, but you can see looming out in the distance, you see this wave of rain that's headed your way. Even some severe thunderstorm warnings popping up, highlighted in yellow. So it's still very warm. I mean, check it out. It's this time of the night, and it's still 75 degrees. That definitely gives you an idea of what's to come and what's kind of brewing in the atmosphere right there. Lots of lightning associated with these storms. Memphis, get ready for some torrential rain. In fact, just a little bit north of here, we had some reports of 3/4 of an inch of rain in just a matter of 10 minutes. So starting off our future radar, starting at 11 p.m. Central Time, Memphis, you'll start seeing this wave of rain and moisture pushing through. I-40 going to get doused. And you can also expect some straight line winds. This feature right there, that kind of bow echo feature, that indicates some very strong winds. It pushes through overnight tonight, through tomorrow morning, and then by 2 p.m. Central Time, we're looking at those showers really starting to calm down and clear out. Just a few lingering showers out to the west of you. Still expecting quite a bit of rain. From now into Saturday afternoon, we're still expecting 2 to 3 inches rain, but even farther east of you can expect closer to 3, even 4 inches of rain as you head east on I-40 or I-22.
And that rain and severe weather threat will continue to roll east as we head through the next couple of days. We're not done until the weekend's over, and the severe weather threat on Saturday includes places like Nashville and Lexington on the far northern fringes, but the most likely area for severe storms lies right here from Birmingham down toward Mobile, and as you get into southern Mississippi too. New Orleans also included in that, and then later in the day, maybe into northwest Georgia too, as these storms continue to roll on off toward the east. Your Torcon indices, a 4 out of 10 chance or 40% chance of a tornado within a 50-mile radius in southern parts of Mississippi, a 30% chance for northwest and western parts of Alabama. So certainly a decent chance of getting some of these storms to spin up and be tornadoes. So it does look like it is going to be a pretty rough afternoon. If you have a way to get alerts while you're going to be out, it is a Saturday and it is a weekend. Many people are going to be out. It looks like as we go through the early morning hours, starting to get into western Tennessee and starting to get into Mississippi. And then notice as we go through midday, we have this cluster of storms in eastern Louisiana and southern Mississippi. And then in the afternoon, we get some daytime heating. Notice that line develops. It pushes through Alabama and eastern Tennessee and eventually out across North Georgia. Later at night, starts pushing south through South Georgia into the panhandle of Florida. Some of those storms may be severe in a place like Birmingham as we go through Saturday into Saturday night.
No stopping me now. I ain't coming down.
Coors Light is lagered, filtered, and packaged cold for peak refreshment. Coors Light, the world's most refreshing beer.
COPD makes it hard to breathe. So to breathe better, I go with Anoro.
COPD tries to say go this way. I say I'll go my own way with Anoro.
Once daily Anoro contains 2 medicines called bronchodilators that work together to significantly improve lung function all day and all night. Anoro is not for asthma. It contains a type of medicine that increases risk of death in people with asthma. The risk is unknown in COPD. Anoro won't replace rescue inhalers for sudden symptoms and should not be used more than once a day. Tell your doctor if you have a heart condition, high blood pressure, glaucoma, prostate, bladder, or urinary problems. These may worsen with Anoro. Call your doctor if you have worsened breathing, chest pain, mouth or tongue swelling, problems urinating, vision changes, or eye pain while taking Anoro. Ask your doctor about Anoro. Get your first prescription free at an
Commercials, hurry up. So guys, I about have 15 more minutes left on this, and then they'll end their coverage and I'll end this live stream. To be exact, 17 more minutes. Or 18. I'm still live.
Oh, it's like
All right, thunderstorms continuing to roll, and they're rolling through the Lamell area here in Arkansas. Things starting to lighten up just a bit, but these big storms came through. I think you're done for the night once the rain ends, as some of these bigger storms here near Little Rock continue to push on through. Luckily, it is all sort of severe thunderstorm warnings. Now, I say that meaning that these aren't tornado warnings, as we had earlier with some of these storms. So this is near Crystal Hill in Arkansas. Some of these storms here north of the Little Rock area. Also, actually severe at one point. Heavy rain, strong winds.